this podcast, the Heidelcast.
It's a Heidel minicast. And now, Scott Clark.
Love on and speak into.
If the Heidelcast helps you, won't you help us keep it going? Please make the coffer clink by clicking on the PayPal link or by sending a check to Heidelberg Reformation Association, 1637 East Valley Parkway, number 391, Escondido, California, 92027.
You know what one of the coolest things is about the Heidelcast is that when you punch up a Heidelcast on your device, you know what you don't hear is ad after ad after ad after ad, and then 3 minutes of contents, and then 4 minutes of ads. We don't do that. And the reason that we don't do that, we don't have to do that, is because listeners just like you support the Heidelcast. They make it possible for you to hear just content and sometimes interesting stuff like this. That's it. So thanks to the donors. And if you like hearing Heidelcasts without a lot of irritating advertising, then you know what to do. The coffer is calling your name.
The Heidelcast.
Two popular expressions entered the American colloquial lexicon probably about a decade ago. I first heard them used by an evangelical from the American South. He wanted to speak into an issue, and he wanted to love on some people. It seems as if the first of these has escaped from the evangelical zoo and is now in the wild. The other remains in captivity, as far as I know, but both are barbarisms at which literate people justly recoil. First, they're both excellent examples of the American love of intensifiers. Americans instinctively distrust standard English. Increasingly, they don't know what it is. It's just not dynamic enough for us, and it's not sufficiently effective. It lacks punch, or so we think. So we add intensifiers to words to sprinkle some pizzazz and some wow into our speech and into our writing. This comes not of appreciating the inherent richness of the English language. It also reflects the state of the experiment that we call public education. Second, these two expressions illustrate the American habit of attempting to punch up words. As they used to say in the newsroom, when we had actual newsrooms with actual editors, and they reflect the American habit of abusing prepositions. The verb to speak does not take the preposition into, unless one is Almighty God. He spoke into nothing and made all that is. One might say that he spoke into the nothingness, in nihilum, as one of my professors said when I was a seminary student, when he said, let there be. Human beings, however, have been formed from the dust of the earth and animated by God, and they are not God, and thus they do not speak into anything. In some quarters, it became fashionable to speak to things, and we may suppose that speak to was not sufficiently energetic, and it became speak into. The verb to speak takes the prepositions about, to, and for. She spoke to the senator about his support for a bill to privatize all schools and return their funds to parents. In that, she spoke for millions. One reason we Americans, and especially evangelicals, are so attracted to artificially effective expressions is, sadly, what we have to say is less significant than the way we've chosen to say it. All of this is especially true of the arresting expression to love on, as in, I just want to love on him a bit. This is evangelical shorthand for, I wish to take a moment to express my appreciation for his person and work. All of that gets condensed to love on. This expression and speak into are instances of the American habit of creating shorthand expressions. We Americans are, as I've been telling you, a busy, industrious lot. And that's a virtue, but if one has affection for the English language, should one not be a bit more careful in the use of the language? We are great builders, so much so that apparently infrastructure now encompasses everything, and great inventors of shorthand expressions. The greatest of these is okay. That's an iconic expression. It shows up in many, many languages. You can be watching a foreign film, and you will hear the American word okay, and everybody knows what that means. It's wonderful because it does so many things, and we really didn't have anything that could do what that does in such a brief period of time. Okay, it's great. Some expressions, for example, love on, are so compact, awkward, vague, and in today's cultural climate potentially confusing that they should not be used. Within the confines of the American evangelical subcultures, love on is generally understood, but outside those cultures, it is liable to become an excuse for a visit to human resources and possibly additional classes on sexual harassment. Well-chosen shorthand expressions can add color, but they are not all created equal. These two creatures, love on and speak into, should be sent to the shredder.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow for more from the Heidelcast, brought to you by Heidelberg Reformation Association.org. Don't forget, when the coin in the coffer clinks, the cost of bandwidth shrinks. Copyright Heidelberg Reformation Association. All rights reserved. This is a Heidel Media production.
The best podcast